This is Super Dave, Super Dave, and you're probably noticing that I have someone here with me. Yes, I do. So again, welcome to Super Dave, Super Dave, and I am here with our wonderful CEO, Jen Kazmierczak, my wonderful partner in co-creation. And it's funny, Jen, right in the past I would have said my partner in crime, but there's no such thing as crime when you're in alignment. But my wonderful partner in co-creation with everything that we're doing, because we will be doing a class on Saturday, and I'm so excited because it's a 6-week class. Getting out ahead of it, the art of segment intending. And so without further ado, Jen, thanks for being here with me on my Super Days of Super Dave. I thought we could just talk about it for a few minutes. A little different than what I do usually, but here we are.
Yeah, well, I would love to. I am really, really looking forward to our class on Saturday for so many reasons. One, because I always love spending time with you, right? It's always fun. We always have a great time. But more importantly, for what it's really going to open each person up that's on the class, what it's really going to allow them to feel as they flow forward and really come into a space of feeling that they're deliberately creating their life. And really coming into a space of something else we share a lot, and it's really recognizing that everything that has preceded you, even up until this very moment, has served you well. It has all led you to this most perfect place, and it's the perfect place for you to be to receive all that you've asked for and to flow forward. So really, really fun.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, Jen. And I think one of the things that's so powerful about this class is that it's really helping others to understand how to be a deliberate focuser, right? We've heard that comment of, you're either creating by default or you're being the deliberate creator of your world. And we've even kind of, as we've been creating this class, morphed it moving forward of really being a deliberate focuser and, really having that deliberate focus about every moment of your day, not just like some moments of your day or the moments that you might consider more important than others, but really being able to be that deliberate focuser. And because of that, you're always in that continuous momentum of feeling good, and I just love the freedom that brings about and incorporates for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. And doesn't it feel good knowing that when we ask for something, right, just like the book, when we ask, it is given, and it's given instantaneously. It's given at the moment we ask, but it's given vibrationally. But it's up to us to really come into alignment with the receival of it, to really, in essence, just feel the feeling of that, whichever we've asked for. And what that really equates to is feeling good, because everything we've asked for is in a space that we believe will feel better. So that's where the receiving is. So it's such a magnificent co-creative process, and it's so excellent just knowing that it's a deliberate choice. Nobody can make us focus anywhere. We always get to choose it. Right. And the law of attraction and the people in our lives and the situations in our lives are so awesome because they're cooperative components. They'll show us so clearly that which we have chosen. Right. So when we're getting wonderful things flowing in and we're feeling so good, guess what? The universe is saying, this is what you're vibrating. This is what you're asking for. This is the frequency you're in. And when we're getting some things that feel a little off, well, thank you, universe. Thank you, grouchy person. Thank you, flat tire, for letting me know, because now I can shift. And it's always a choice. Yeah, so great.
Yeah, I agree, Jen. I think another cool thing that we're incorporating in this class and really utilizing is the understanding of the book of positive aspects. How Abraham's referred to that for years and years and years, but really putting it into a place where it's really applicable. As well as also having a little book for yourself, to carry around with wherever. And whenever you're feeling it, just segment intend right there. Like maybe you're going in before an interview, or you're going to go see family, or these things and these spaces where people tend to gum themselves up and just sort of be like, well, whatever happens, happens. And instead of realizing that they have the control and the power, to deliberately focus in whatever they want to focus on. And for myself, Jen, I know that you can probably speak to this too. I really love that. I love how, like, because I know everyone's very familiar that I drive for Lyft. I never have to be like, well, we'll just see how these next 4 hours go.
Right.
That's nuts. It's never like that. It's like, I grab my notebook. These next hours will be delightful, right? Something very general, very broad, and then I close up my little notebook and then just move forward. And
Yes.
just allow more and more beautifulness to come in, and then continue to pre-pave, each segment and each trip and maybe even each turn in each trip. But again, how it's all very general. I'm not saying things like, oh, and Jen, on this next turn, I'm going to make sure that there's only 17 cars, like, you know what I mean? Just like, the next turn will be a delight as well as the last one was, right? Because I had already been in that flow of pre-paving. So yeah, anything you want to add?
Well, I love it, and this is such a delightful area to be expanding on, because we always can get out ahead of it. Our intention, our focus, I like to say, is like fertilizer. And wherever we place our focus, that grows. So when we're focusing intentionally ahead of us, just not way ahead, just into that next little piece we're stepping into, and we're saying something like, this is going to be a delightful experience. I'm going to enjoy the situations and the people I encounter, right? And that's it. And then we proceed to go about, guess what? We're aimed in that direction. And it's really pleasing to see how the people and the situations and circumstances and events come to match that intention, right?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to see how responsive the universe and the law of attraction is to us, and how beautiful of a piece that each of us plays in the co-creation, not only of our own life experience, but of the universe as a whole. It's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love how too, Jen, like, even if contrast does arise, when we're pre-paving, it's like it doesn't knock us off our kilter, right? We don't react to it, we don't respond to it like, oh, okay, because I think a big place that people get gummed up is like, well, I set my intention and then this happened, and it's like, welcome to Earth, man. Like, things can happen, but when we're wonderfully pre-paving, it's just being able to acknowledge that and breathe. And then flow forward. I'm reminded of the story. I've shared this in class. I don't think I've actually shared it on a video yet, but I had been pre-paving my whole morning. And when I was coming home, I was pre-paving that last turn. Like you said, it was very general. It was like, I'm going through my neighborhood, and this last turn is going to be just as delightful as the rest have been. Something gentle like that, right? And then a squirrel hopped out in front of me, and I gently dodged that, and then a cat, and then a car. And what was so fun was to be able to just still feel my alignment and my flow and go, like I didn't erratically, move the steering wheel, or I didn't, curse the cat, and darn these wild cats, like, I know you see, I know you'd get a response to that because it's National Cat Day, but no, I didn't do that. That was playful. I know, I'm being playful, and I know that you guys watching feel that we're being playful, but that's what was so cool with the ability to just flow forward and just to continuously keep flowing forward. No problem. Sure. Just keep flowing forward.
Oh, I love that. Well, and that is a wonderful thing that happens, right? When you're deliberately getting out ahead of it in a space that feels good, right? And you're deliberately lining with your inner being, or that greater aspect of who you are, or you call it source energy, call it God, whatever feels good to you. But when you're deliberately in that direction, something wonderful happens. And you don't need to really focus on it, but you will notice it when it happens. And it's the gift of feeling perfect timing, to know exactly how to maneuver your vehicle, or to know, turn left right here. And there's not a whole thinking process in it. It's really receiving of that guidance. And it's delightful. We get to see it a lot, of course, for ourselves in every day. And we're going to help you see that, when you're experiencing that perfect timing, when you're feeling and flowing in that alignment, and how delightful it is to be a deliberate creator. But we also see it, in others in our society. If you've ever watched any kind of a sporting event, right, you can see it in the athletes. The athlete that has perfect timing, it's like they just make this amazing play or shot or kick or goal or whatever it is, depending on the sport. And then you can also see it sometimes when the ball or the game just won't go that person or that team's way, right? And it's all based on alignment. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so great.
Yeah, it is so great. And I think another thing that's really cool about pre-paving too, Jen, is for myself, what I've noticed is that it's given me a greater awareness of what I feel in the moment, and really continuously connecting me to everything that we talk about in the training, we talk about in all the Facebook Lives nonstop, which is your alignment with yourself and, your inner being, right? And that beautiful connection of those two, and how, like, when we're really feeling our alignment, it's not a separation. There's been so much talk of this idea that there's a separation of you and mind and inner being, and there are all these different components. But when you're really feeling your own alignment, there's no longer you and your mind and inner being. There's just you, and you just flow forward with all of it, and know exactly what to say, what to do or not to do, because you're wonderfully guided, because you can feel it with your own feelings.
Yeah. And it's magnificent. And our feelings, our emotions are our feelings. Let us know. They're so beautiful because they let us know, right? If we're feeling good, we're right on track. But if we're feeling a little stress, or if we're feeling a little worry, that's the time to just take a deep breath and refocus your intention, right? Just, it's just like get yourself into a better feeling space, and then get out ahead of it again, right? In a more delightful space. Instead, right? So often we're kind of maybe trained or told to just muscle through it, just push through it, just get in there and do it anyway. And I'm going to say, if it doesn't feel good, you're not plugged in. Just take a deep breath, do maybe a little appreciation. That's a big part of the book, the book of positive aspects. Write a little appreciation down, or maybe get a drink of water or whatever. It doesn't matter. Everybody has different things that will bring them into a space of feeling better. And they're all unique to each of us. It will help you, really come into a space of, feeling and flowing with those. But just know, when it feels good, it's right. It's right. And we'll help you to know, because there's a big difference too. When that guidance you're feeling, is it coming from within you, from within your inner being, or is it coming from something outside of you? And, there's lots of well-meaning people and things and situations outside of us. Absolutely. But they're not our power source. And they may be a beautiful cooperative component in our life, just like Best Life. It's a beautiful way for people to feel and flow in their alignment. But we never try to be somebody's alignment. We just, shine from our own space of alignment and help people to be who they really are. Because you are amazing. Oh, so amazing.
Yeah. And I love, again, how, even the title of our class, we've named it, Getting Out Ahead of It, the Art of Segment Intending, because it's not a chore. It's not like a duty. It's not even a responsibility, but like, because I know we were talking about, in one of our classes, we're talking about really segment intending throughout an entire day, right? Just as kind of a little peek. But, like even everything as simple as, I'm really going to delight in my meditation. I'm going to enjoy brushing my teeth. I'm going to, my meal is going to be so good, right? These little things. And people go, well, that almost seems like you're overdoing it. But what's so powerful about it is it does a couple things. One, it gives a space for the mind to focus, which is that wonderful vibrational right here in the present moment. And two, it's just building up more and more satisfied momentum, because you get to intend it and then witness it right there with the satisfied momentum, and you just keep building and building and building and building and building and building and building. That's one of the things I love. Because then again, it's like no matter what layer or momentum of contrast comes in, you're just like, oh. And oftentimes, because you're in that momentum of what feels good, you won't have momentum of dissatisfaction. You just won't. You might see some dissatisfaction or experience it. But the other thing that I think is really cool about it too is that when the contrast comes, what I've been finding and what we're excited to ideally help you guys find for yourself too is that the contrast doesn't feel dissatisfying. It's just contrast. It's just,
right.
Yep. It's so good to know what I don't want. Fantastic. Let's just flow forward.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's something beautiful that comes with that contrast. It's like you see it in a different way. All of a sudden you recognize your freedom when you come into a space of contrast and go, oh, I can acknowledge that, but not feel so bad about it or feel bad about it at all. I can actually come into a place of feeling my freedom to acknowledge and refocus. So beautiful. And I love what you shared, Dave, because it's so fun. In this class and for sure, but just in general, it's getting you to feel and experience satisfaction, joy, happiness, bliss, all those other feelings, whatever they are, and they're always changing. That's why I, made a list of them. We don't want to just feel bliss 24 hours a day. Like, woo, we get tired. Or we don't want to feel just excited 24 hours a day. We want to feel sometimes happy, sometimes love, sometimes so much appreciation, sometimes just content, right? Just, right? But to be able to find those and to experience those feel-good feelings when you're brushing your teeth, when you're, watering your plants, or when you're washing your dishes, or you're preparing your meal, like to be able to really allow your inner being and the universe to, really build that momentum in your life, and for you to stay plugged in, throughout your day. But if you do hit a little contrast, maybe get a little unplugged, that's all right. I could just take a deep breath, or just have a little chuckle and move and flow forward. Yeah, so great. Yeah.
Even if the momentum like heavier, you just take a nap, go do some meditation, go practice some appreciation, go for a walk, go play with your pets or your kids, just allow yourself to move forward and to move forward freely. And
so great.
It's gonna be fun, Jen. I'm really looking forward to it, and so I'm so glad you guys are here. Oh, you want to add something?
Well, I just, it's because it feels so good. It's so fun to talk about, but, and it's good to feel good. It's good to really expand in your way to experience joy and happiness and love and freedom. And know that expansion piece, because sometimes we would get really fixated on that expansion piece, that happens pretty automatically. That's happening whether you're experiencing joy or not. You might be able to, really participate in it, which is our goal. Absolutely. It's what we want for each of you. But even if you don't, the universe is always expanding. Things are always moving forward. And that's because of you. So I just, appreciate who you are, appreciate where you're at. And we'll help you with that. The book of positive aspects definitely helps with that. Getting you to really feel and flow forward, and to know your power is right now. It's right now, but that now is always moving. You can't capture it. It's not a snapshot. You can't take a picture of it and go, now. It's flowing. It's like that, like a river, like a stream. It has motion. It has life. It's alive, just like you. So I love it.
Yeah, me too, Jen. I'm glad we got a chance to connect today. Guys, I know this is a little bit different than what I usually do, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We're wonderfully flowing forward, and we want to let you guys know what's going on in Best Life. Like
Yeah.
that's why we do these Facebook Lives, because there's always new stuff coming up, and this just happens to be, our class that we have coming up on Saturday. Again, it's a 6-week class. Getting out ahead of it, the art of segment intending. It really is an art. And yeah, Jen, any details you want to add before we wrap up about the class or anything?
Yeah, well, yeah, you covered it really well. It starts on Saturday, the 2nd of November, so just coming up here in a few days. It's at in Europe. It's at 7 p.m. over in Europe, so nice time over in Europe. And on the other side of the ocean, more in the States and Canada side, it's 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, on down the time zones. So yeah, we'd love to have you join us if that feels good to you. If not, take some nuggets from what we shared today. There's a lot here, for sure, that, you can really expand with. And yeah, I'm just so looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, man, me too, Jen. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited for it too, and it's going to be on Zoom. So if you want to be on camera, great. If you don't, that's okay too. There's always that call-in number option. And then, yeah, if you're interested, we'll put a link here in the comments on where to
Yes.
go register for that class. And I'm excited, Jen. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. So thanks for being here on my Super Days with Super Dave. I really appreciate that. And yeah, so I guess, guys, until we talk again. May you continue to make your life with Best Life. And this is Super Dave, Director of Training, signing off with my beautiful co-host and wonderful, wonderful partner in co-creation, Jen Kazmierczak. So, Jen, thanks again, and love you guys so much. Thanks a
Love you
lot.
guys. Bye-bye. Love you.